2024 national election has been described by many parties as the most important since 1994. This past week, 7 opposition parties met for 2 days to discuss some kind of framework on how they'll work together to form a national coalition. So once the last vote is counted in 2024, just how big a part will coalition agreements play? Newzroom Afrika's Nic Andersen takes a look.
A pre-election coalition agreement has now been signed, and it came after just 2 days of talks in Kempton Park, ahead of the 2024 general elections.
Very happy to announce formally that the parties have agreed and that they've signed up after very robust negotiations, that they agreed on a multi-party charter for South Africa, and that we can formally announce a partnership, a pre-election coalition partnership. It's a historical moment for South Africa. This is the first in the modern era of South Africa.
That was the voice of William Gumede. He served as the Independent Convention chairperson and was tasked with facilitating discussions and negotiations between the DA, IFP, Freedom Front Plus, Action SA, Isanco, UIM, and the SNP. While negotiations were kept behind closed doors, the parties confirmed that they already have a plan in place for how the agreement will work in practice, if they were to come to power.
The parties have agreed how they're going to work together, how they're going to, if they come to government, when they're going to come to government, how they're going to share power, how it's going to look like, how they're going to establish a government, and how would they allocate positions, and so on.
Let's take a closer look at some of the key agreements now. The multi-party charter says that it will make sure that any candidate put forward as an office bearer will have to undergo independent lifestyle audits that will be made public. Another key agreement to come out this week is the promise that the coalition will not entertain any working arrangement or co-governing agreements with the ANC, EFF, or any rival formations. This is particularly key given that some opposition parties had accused the DA of cozying up to the ANC in the hope of entering their own coalition agreement with them, if needed. The multi-party charter also agreed that the representation in a coalition government will be proportional to election results. At the same time, key consideration will be given as to which party has the best candidate for a certain position. And if the largest party in the agreement is not the President of the Republic, it will be that party that holds the position of leader of government business. But with coalition agreements having fallen through and having failed to bring stability to the city of Johannesburg multiple times over the past few years, will a new coalition charter with these opposition parties really stand firm in 2024? Dear leader John Steenhuisen, from the biggest party of the 7, is certain that it will.
This convention has been a resounding success. We have collectively agreed on a shared vision, shared principles for a new government, and a minimum program of action to address the urgent problems that present such an existential risk to South Africa and our country's future. The 7 political parties in this charter have come together to keep the ANC out, keep the EFF out of power, and provide, importantly, a new alternative to rescue South Africa in 2024.
For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Nic Andersen in Johannesburg.